The Giants when they won the Super Bowl. They went in the playoffs, division winning 9-7.
Maybe it's best for the Giants not to win because they don't win a division on those Super Bowl years on the Coughlin, but they they got to start winning
They got to,
starting
and it's not getting
starting Sunday.
right, and it's not getting any easier when they got
Yeah.
Philadelphia this Sunday.
Yeah, speaking of the Cowboys, they were at San Diego.
That was a
They
good
had the
game.
lead. Des Bryant had a good game, but Philip Rivers unleashed.
Philip
And
Rivers was awesome yesterday. Holy moly, where the hell was that?
yeah, Danny Woodhead, I thought he was in New England,
No, he's with
but
San
he's with
Diego,
San
man.
Diego now. He's become a Darren Sproles type of
He's a
dude.
small dude, ain't he?
He's small, and for some reason the Cowboys couldn't stop him. And Eddie Royal stepped up. Antonio Gates stepped up. I mean, I guess the thing about the Chargers with me is that I guess every time when I pick them, they lose.
The only
Or
problem with the
every
Chargers, the only problem with the Chargers, Kenny,
Mm-hmm.
they're in the wrong division. They're in a division. They're in a
Yes.
division with two teams that are 4-0
Yeah.
right now. They're in the wrong
Yeah.
division.
Wrong division for them, but at least this win gives them confidence. And like a debater on ESPN, why don't Q, why don't schedule? They are an accident waiting
Well,
to happen.
they go up to Oakland next week. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to be
It's going to be interesting.
for San Diego, especially.
Yeah.
Now, Pryor may
They
be
lost
back.
Dwight Freeney though. San Diego.
Yeah, Dwight Freeney, that is a huge loss. Manti Te'o, I believe he's
played
playing, so
yesterday.
maybe
Yeah,
he can contribute.
He played yesterday, had some nice tackles, but they lost freaking Dwight Freeney to bicep
Yeah.
tear, and that's kind of stinking, man.
Yeah, there was some huge injuries yesterday, and the next game I want to get into is New York. They're not the only New York team that lost yesterday.
No, Jets did too.
The Jets, 38-13.
Yeah, I picked Tennessee in that game.
I picked the Jets. Gino
Your fault.
is he just had a rough day yesterday, man. And although the Titans did win, they did lose their starting quarterback Jake Locklear, who suffered a hip pointer. He's going to be out for 4 to 8 weeks
Wussy.
with a hip pointer. So that means Ryan Fitzpatrick, former Bills, Rams, and Bengal quarterback, he will be the starting
Yeah,
quarterback.
whoever Tennessee plays next week, I'm not picking them. I'm telling you right now.
They're 3-1. Shockingly, that's a surprise there. They are 3-1, and you had the butt fumble last
Oh,
year.
Tennessee is playing at home against Kansas City. I'm taking Kansas City for sure.
So the Jets, they had the butt fumble last year. What the hell was Geno Smith trying to do?
The end zone fumble.
Yeah, the end zone fumble, trying to go behind trying to put put the like a Wick Berry type
Trying
of
to
basketball
hide the
move.
ball. He was trying to hide the ball.
He was trying to put the ball behind his back
Yeah, I
like he
seen
was
that.
an and one or whatever, and he's got tackled with the ball behind him,
I seen that.
and that's the easiest touchdown you're gonna get. But the Jets are 2-2, so not all bad. But Gino has to turn the ball. He has to protect the ball a little better. I get it. He's a rookie. He just got to do better. The Redskins, they are no longer winless. Get their first win of the season. They beat
Yeah,
the
so the
Raiders.
Giants are sitting in the AFC East all by themselves in the cellar now.
Yeah, I mean,
They suck.
even though the Raiders.
You want to know
no,
who the two most disappointing teams are in the NFL this year?
what do you think?
The Giants and the Steelers.
I'm gonna go with the Falcons. To me, they're a disappointment because you get Steven Jackson, you get O.C. Urenor, you get all these pieces, and they fall to 1-3. I just say the Falcons because I believe they had some expectations heading into this season.
Yeah, but the Steelers and the Giants haven't won a game yet. They're 0-4. What are you kidding me? Those are the two most disappointing teams this year.
well,
Now history says in the last 60 plus playoff teams that we have in, so many years, I guess it is, right? There's been one team that started 0-4 and made the playoffs. Okay? One team in the last 60-plus years. All right?
Mm-hmm.
That's started 0-4 and made the playoffs. You know who it is? Because I sure as hell do.
I don't know. Maybe some team for the 90s.
Nope. That's up there, Somer. The Pelicans. He comes in here with the Pelicans. No, you know who? you know who it is?
No, I don't.
San Diego Chargers.
And what year was that?
I believe it was 5, 6, 7 years ago, around there.
I'm guessing that must have been before LaDainian Tomlinson.
No, it was during his era, I believe it was.
Oh, well.
I believe it was. I don't remember the exact
And maybe
date.
Drew Brees must have been the starting quarterback because that had. Oh no, you said 7 years ago.
No, I think it was Stan Humphries actually. So you might be right. It might be before LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe it was Stan Humphries when he was the quarterback. But yeah, still, how about that? 0-4.
0-4.
One freaking team. San Diego Padres 0-4. Is that crazy or what?
That is crazy, and you know,
Giants better get freaking moving. They can't lose. They can't afford to lose any more games.
Yeah, there's just some
I don't
teams.
think they're gonna win Sunday.
The Giants or the Steelers, especially, given their reputation and their history.
That's ridiculous, man.
Speaking of the Steelers, I mean, they still had a chance to at least force their game to overtime with Minnesota from across the pond, and the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger, if you're going to put your team in better chance, you got to hang on to the football, man. That was a fumble at the end. And the Vikings, with Matt Castle as their starting quarterback, picks up the win.
How about that?
It does help when you have Adrian Peterson. He played good, 2 touchdown ones.
Christian Ponder might have lost his starting job.
Yeah, but Castle is getting there with age, so he just pretty much a utility player at this time.
I think Castle's a better quarterback than Ponder.
Well, he did have that one good year with New England filling in for Brady, but when he went to Kansas City, he wasn't much of a factor, and that's why he's a backup quarterback at best.
Hey, you see how bad Rivers ate up the Cowboys defense?
I think he had like 400 some yards.
400+ yards. Can you imagine what Manning's gonna do to him next week? If Rivers did that to him this week, can you imagine what Manning's gonna do to the Cowboys next week?
Yeah, speaking about those Broncos, 52 points.
Yeah, and you want to know something? In our fantasy football pick'em pool, we picked the teams that's gonna score the least and the team that's gonna score the most. The team I picked to score the fewest points was Jacksonville. I got that right. The team that I picked to score the most points was Denver, and I got that right. So I got those two right at least.
Can anyone stop that Denver Broncos offense?
No, I don't think so, man. They're on a roll.
I mean,
the only way that's gonna happen is if somebody gets to Peyton Manning and breaks his leg or something. Otherwise,
unless Peyton Manning missed a flight or whatever, it's hard to stop that crew. The Cowboys, they got a decent defense. But if you allow 400 yards of Rivers, imagine Peyton Manning may have looked at his stat sheet and said, you know what, I'm going for 500. Well, 500 passing yards.
They still, they still got some big games ahead of them, Denver. I don't think they're going to go undefeated. They got to.
Nah, I'm not going undefeated. Kansas City defense could really challenge them.
Yes, they've got to play Kansas City twice, and they still got to play New England at New England. So we'll see what happens,
As for the Eagles, that so-called offense that's going to revolutionize the NFL.
It ain't revolutionized.
It ain't, 20 points, and they had some opportunities at the red zone, and you got a Denver defense with no Von Miller and no Champ Bailey, and they also had a kickoff return touchdown. So this team, they don't have to just rely on Peyton and that offense to score. That the special teams can score and the defense can score. I mean, they just look unstoppable, but I don't see them wanting the table, if you will. But someone's got to man up against Denver. Just give Peyton Manning the MVP right now. Don't give it anybody else.
Break his leg, man.
Just give him the MVP. No need for a ballot. I mean, no disrespect to Tom Brady. He's doing okay, but he's not putting up the numbers the way that Peyton has. 52-20. I mean, what else to say about that one? The Sunday night game. Matt Wine usually is good at home.
I didn't even watch a lot of that game.
But the Patriots, now they got some young receivers. No Amendola, no Gronkowski. But the young receivers stepped up last night. And Atlanta entered that game with an injured Roddy White and an injured Julio Jones. Tony Gonzalez stepped up. But once New England realized he was getting a bunch of catches, they started to double team him. They started to guard him a little tougher and said, we're not going to let Tony Gonzalez beat us. You relied on White. You relied on Jones. Now, Julio Jones had a couple of good catches yesterday, but they still had a chance to at least force that game to overtime, but they couldn't prevail. The Patriots with receivers that you still don't know what their names are. Tompkins, I think Dobson did not play yesterday. So just imagine, get Amendola back, get Gronkowski back. Maybe they'll be a little bit more better. But none of them are playing, no problem. They're 4-0. And that's mainly because of Brady. He's used to playing with limited receivers anyway.
Yep. Hey, let me ask you a question. Did you watch any baseball yesterday?
No, I did not.
No? Because there's something really wacky happened yesterday in baseball, and this is
you must be talking about that no-hitter.
No, not that, really. No between two pitchers? No, not between two pitchers? No, not really. I'm talking about the one-game playoff game that they got to have today, game 163, to see who goes to the wild card game between Texas and Tampa Bay Rays. How about that?
So
there's a baseball game today. Game 163. Tampa Bay is going to Texas to play the Rangers. The winner of this game moves on to play the Cleveland Indians in a one-game play-in game to see who makes the playoffs. How crazy is that?
That's just a little too much That's just a little too much leading up into the postseason. Just get your division winners, get your wild cards winner, and
go.
Just no need for no. Now, if the teams are tied at the end of the season, then you're gonna have
these two teams are tied. They got the exact same record. These two teams are tied, so they're having a one-game playoff between Tampa Bay and Texas. The winner of this game tonight, Wednesday, will play Cleveland Indians at Cleveland. I'm believing almost at Cleveland. The winner of that game there then goes into the playoffs to play one of the other three teams. So they're going to have two play-in games before the playoffs begin in the American League.
Pretty much. How
crazy is that?
That's just, I don't know. To me, that's just a bit too much leading into the postseason.
You know what I mean? So you got a game today between Texas and Tampa Bay. The winner of that game today gets to play Wednesday against Cleveland to see who goes into the playoffs. Holy freak. So either Texas or Tampa Bay is going to have to play two play-in games. This game is a play-in game to see who gets to play the wild card play-in game to see who makes the playoffs. That's nuts.
It's starting to feel like the NCAA men's tournament when you have those bunch of play-in games. It's starting the NCAA men's tournament with all these play-in games and things like that. But that's like the worst. That's like the low seed teams.
And then tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, you got Cincinnati Reds, your Reds, playing against West's Pirates, the play-in game to see who goes into the playoffs. So today you're going to have a play-in game. Tomorrow you're going to have a play-in game. And on Wednesday, you're going to have a play-in game.
I guess this is MLB saying now that the regular season's over and the postseason don't start until Thursday, we'll give you 2 more games.
Is that crazy?
Yeah. And for these particular teams that They don't have to play to